on my Area 51 line. You're on the air. Hello.
Welcome to the Blondes and Booze Paranormal Podcast, where what you've known as reality will be shattered by the truth. Krista and Brandy will lift the veil from your eyes, revealing what has either been hidden or denied you for eons.
Hey, welcome everybody. Happy freaking Thursday.
Happy freaking Thursday.
Happy freaking Thursday. It is a Thursday. Real quick, I messaged somebody and they replied back, and Brandy knows who I'm talking about. So anyway,
Right.
Brandy, can you be here by 9 o'clock Saturday?
9 a.m. Saturday?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. We'll move on. I'm just going to reply back. Okay. Hello,
All right,
Joe.
well,
Thank you very
look
much.
at there. Joe starting off strong. Thank you, Joe. We appreciate it. Just to get us started on this a little bit, of course, we're going to talk about the conference. We are so close. And you know what? You have to come. You just have to come. Get your tickets while the getting's good. It is the 19th and 20th in Richmond, Missouri. We have a lot of guest speakers. We have, I can't even tell you. We just have so many activities going on during the weekend. We have, let me see. We have a psychic gallery reading with Marilyn Bast. We have the whole conference on Saturday. I don't want to even call it a meet and greet on Friday because that's not what it is. Mm-hmm. What it is it's just another extension of Saturday. It's just the pre-extension. And it's going to be fantastic. And, of course, I'm going to let you know a little secret. Miguel Ramirez is going to be there, and he's on with us tonight. He's on. Yes, we're excited.
Yes, he absolutely is.
So he is on tonight, and we have so many things going on. So if you need tickets, or, we still have vendor spots because we have a whole fairgrounds. Those are all still available. Go to Eventbrite, look under Crossing Realms Conference, and you'll be able to find all the information there, including vendor registration and all of that. Mm-hmm. So, hey, do it now.
Yep. Also, T-Bone asked, I am going to have all of the guests and all of the speakers, T-Bone. I will personally go around and have them sign you a poster, and I will definitely mail it to you. So absolutely, Miguel, I'm sure he will have no problem signing your poster. I will
Absolutely.
Yep.
Everybody is, these are all of our friends, and they're fantastic people. They have no problems with that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So not a problem, T-Bone. It would be better if you could be here yourself so we could meet you in person and thank you for all that you do for us in person and give you a hug. But we understand if you can't be.
But if you can't be there and you want to view this on the internet, you can also go to Eventbrite, look under Crossing Realms Conference. We do have an option for that also. So, if you can't be there, you can watch still. So, like I said, check it out.
Yes, and it's thanks to Chris Jordan. He's got all that lined up and set up, and it will be the speakers portion only that is getting recorded.
Yeah, the crazy stuff is us live. Don't worry about it. It's going to happen.
Yes. So anyway, do we got any other announcements or anything? Oh, there's one thing I wanted to talk about really, really quick. Do you know that the state of Texas quit selling Mountain Dew and Takis?
I did. I saw that. And really?
Yeah.
If you want to ruin your stomach and ruin your system, I believe that's up to you.
Right.
And I believe you can have whatever soda and snacks you want if you're buying it yourself. So, I guess now we have to run to the border to get Mountain Dew.
Yeah, I know.
I guess that's it.
Yeah. So, yeah, anyway. So that's the deal. Anyway,
I know.
I can't believe that, we got so many friends in Texas. That's what I was wondering. It's just crazy.
I know. I mean, our friend William Lunsford is also going to be at the conference, and he swears by his Mountain Dew. That's what we're paying him in, is Mountain Dew. And so,
True.
and he's close to that border of Texas. So I mean, when is that going to wash over? I mean, he can sell it for contraband or something.
Hey, that's what we should do next time we go to Texas. Let's take some Mountain Dew and Takis with us.
And just secretly stash them, Maybe we might get arrested crossing the border. I don't know.
That's what Terry just said. Her new job will be hustling Mountain Dew over the border.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Even though I mean, I understand, but that's like infringement on
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like it impairs your judgment when you're driving or anything. I think it's a personal choice whether you want it or not.
Mm-hmm. I do too. So,
well,
anyway,
in that case, they should outlaw ghost peppers too. Let's just do that. Ghost peppers are now off the market in Texas.
That's not the right place to take them off the market. Being right there by the border,
I know, right? Yeah. I mean, I do think that it is a personal choice. Well, I mean, because I have some friends that are junk food junkies. Matter of fact, I get on my little binge every now and again. Even though I am not a Mountain Dew drinker, I like one every now and again.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm not going to lie, guys. When I do overnight ghost investigations, Brandy, what do I drink?
Mountain Dew.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
The only time I drink Mountain Dew is an overnight. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's not like we drink it all the time. I mean, we just drink it certain times. But I mean, like I said, it's kind of like cutting off your coffee. I mean, what about those people out there that drink a pot a day of coffee?
Right, absolutely. So anyway, just kind of wanted to talk about that real quick. I thought that was interesting. Thank you, T-Bone. You're the best.
Thank you, T-Bone.
And I'm not going to waste any time. It looks like Miguel is ready. I'm going to just go ahead and bring him up. Hey there.
How's it going, everyone?
But hey, good to see you again.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back on Blondes and Booze Paranormal.
It's been a while. You are a busy guy.
Yeah, I try to stay as busy as possible.
Yeah, you put videos out just about every day now.
Yeah, I'm behind on reports, so I'm just trying to get, interviews out from like last year. There's probably people that stopped following the channel because I didn't upload, but it's just taking that long.
Right, I get it. I know. I know. It's honestly, Brandy and I know doing this. It's another full-time job. It really is. And I know you work a 9-to-5 job as well as do Brandy and I. So it's a lot of work. So people, have to understand. It takes time. It definitely does. So how have you been?
Been doing excellent. How are you ladies doing?
Fantastic.
Good.
It's Friday Eve, so that makes it all the better, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what my boss says. She comes through and says hi to everybody every day, and she says, "Happy Friday Eve." On Thursdays, every Thursday, she says, "Happy Friday Eve." I said, "I like that. That's a positive outlook."
I know it almost sounds like Halloween.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So anyway, tell us what you've been up to. Where you been? What you been doing?
Mainly, I've just been working on a new house that I purchased, and that's been my full focus. That and the podcast, and I've been out to the woods here and there, but that's about it. I went out with Adam from the wrench crew recently. We had some activity. It sounded like something crossed across the river, and you could hear like clop, 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 like rocks being flipped, something splashing in the water. A branch broke when we were sitting there talking around camp. After we shot the tannerite, huge explosion, but after the tannerite explosion, I swear I saw something black cross the trail and into the woods. And this didn't make it up on the video because I didn't realize it was on there till after I already uploaded the video. But there's like a black mass next to the explosion. I mean, it's the same
Wow.
thing that I saw across the trail. But I want to make a video about that if I get time to talk about it
Yeah.
possibly being what I saw. But yeah, we definitely heard some vocalizations way off in the distance. I mean, it had to have been hundreds of yards away, and the
Yeah.
microphones didn't pick it up. With all the bugs, you know, Shelby's place is right off the creek, so all you hear is like frogs and bugs. But we
Right.
heard it with our ears, but the devices didn't pick it up.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that you're going to go back out there, say, like in the fall, once, you know, all the bugs are gone and things like that? Are you going to go back out there?
Yeah, for sure. We had some whoops. I think it was last year, maybe 2 years ago. But everybody went to bed. The night was uneventful, actually the whole day. And once everybody got in their tents, fell asleep, I was in my hammock. I was still awake because for some reason I can't sleep in the hammock. And there was 2 loud whoops. I mean, whoop, whoop. I mean, it was so cool. But I got up and I woke Adam up. I was like, "Hey, get up. Did you hear that?" He's like, "I think I did. I was like halfway asleep." And he's like, "I thought that was you." I was like, "That wasn't me." And yeah, that was in, I think, February. It was pretty cold out. And for some reason in that area of Missouri and Madison County, there seems to be Bigfoot activity.
Yeah. Did you, I actually had, our friend Frankie sent me a link today. Brandy, there was a Bigfoot report to the BFRO in Poplar Bluff here.
I saw that.
In August. Yeah. Did you see that, Brandy?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Do
yeah.
you know the area?
Yes. Yes, I know all of the area now. That's something I wouldn't have thought. But it isn't far. It isn't far from here at all. So, I mean, once I get the exact location where they were, if I can find that out by any means, I'm going to see if I can't get out there.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
One thing I do know about the BFRO, like reports like that, I mean, maybe it is recent, but a lot of times when they get like Class A stuff like that, they don't release it till years later. So I don't know if they're being specific about that. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But I mean, it could have recently happened, but I know they personally that they don't release stuff right when it happens because they want to investigate first rather than having like outsiders come in.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Okay, because I think it said like August 20th or something.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
on it
must have just happened then.
Yeah, and then I seen where Matt Moneymaker made a statement about it or something too. So I don't know.
Yes.
Regardless, it's Missouri is definitely underrated for cryptid activity.
Exactly. Maybe everybody will come visit me then. So I don't have to travel for once. Everybody come visit me. All right. Just come on.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. Yeah.
I sent it to the farmer from the killing fields. He was excited to see that because he always drives to the VA hospital in Poplar Bluff. So he travels there a lot. And he just thought it was the coolest thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. We this fall, Adam has also invited us down to his place too. So this fall, maybe we could all get together and
that would be fun.
Go to one of those cool places. So for sure.
Exactly. I sleep in my car. I'm just telling you right now, Miguel, I sleep in my car.
That's okay. They love approaching vehicles.
I know.
As you know already.
I found that out. Yes.
That's too funny.
You can sleep in the ambulance.
That's true. There is that. There is that. I'll sleep in the the Bigfoot mobile there.
Right.
See, I don't mind a tent. I'll sleep in a tent.
I don't know. I it's when I'm going to sleep in my car and I'm going out for this specific reason. I'm going to sleep in my car, but I'm going to be more prepared this time to catch something. It's an infant. I don't care. I don't even care if it's, I don't know, a possum climbing up on my car. Something is going to get caught.
Yep. I hear you. I totally hear you.
On video. This time I'm going to come prepared.
Yeah. So let's go back and talk about a few months ago when we all got to hang out at Emmaus. What did you think of Emmaus?
I thought it was extremely haunted. I mean, I definitely have like a sixth sense when it comes to that kind of stuff. And I told you guys when I was there, it felt like the devil had his hands on my shoulders. Like a pressure feeling.
Yeah. What did you think about the cryptid activity in that area?
I thought that was unusual. Like, when it was just you and I there before everyone else showed up, I heard those two distinct howls, one on one side of the highway and then another one replied behind the asylum. And it sounded very wolf-like.
Mm-hmm. And as a lot of people know, and I took you and Brandy down what I nicknamed Dogman Road because there was a Dogman encounter. As a crow flies, it's not that far from Emmaus, so who knows? I mean, we can't say, it was a Bigfoot, or we can't say it was a Dogman, but, not saying.
I can't say what animal it was, though. I can't, like I've heard all wildlife in Missouri, or most of it.
Mm-hmm.
It was unusual, unclassified.
Yep. And I also sent it to Joe Doyle from Hellbent and Holler, and he came back with the same thing. And I also sent it to Charlie Raymond, and he said the same thing. So, you guys are all ones that are out in the woods all the time. You guys know animal sounds, and all of you guys are in agreement there that it's something not native.
Right. Well, the thing that's really got me, though, and I want to get your point on this, Miguel, is the one of like the rooster crowing. It sounded like a rooster, but then again, it was off. It just didn't sound right.
Mm-hmm. Like it was mimicking a rooster. What would a rooster be doing out in the forest at 3 a.m. by a cemetery when there's coyotes, foxes, possums, things like that out there?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And there is a rooster that resides on the other side of the road over there. And we hear that during the day, but I've never heard it in the middle of the night ever.
Usually chickens roost at night, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But I've never heard it, in the middle of the night ever. Even when I stayed on that side of the road, I didn't even hear it not once. And you would have thought that I'd have heard it loud and clear over there, and I didn't.
Mm-hmm. There are the legends of the Ozark Howler, and a lot of people think that's Bigfoot, but actually it's a canine cryptid creature, and it laughs like a hyena, kind of like the Joker off of Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And it could have been that, maybe.
That's a scary thought too. You know it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, because it's not just in the Ozarks. It's not just Arkansas. It's not just that little corner of Missouri. I mean, it can travel too. So, I mean, I've heard stranger things, and the way that it sounded, like you said, it was a mimic. It was there, but it wasn't quite right. There was something really off about it.
It sounds like the same creature that you guys recorded in the asylum when you were going through the tunnel. It has that same pitch to it. It's that same individual creature thing.
Yeah. So you might not have heard this, and I'm going to tell you about it, Miguel. So Frankie, you met Frankie. We were doing an event there here a few weeks ago, and we were sitting in front of the Sets building, which is what you were camped behind, that building. We were sitting out in front of it, and we were sitting on the steps that go down. And Frankie kind of freaked out a second. He looked over. He saw a gray mass go between that old house and that old shed over there in the woods, where I'm talking. And so, we were thinking ghosts. We didn't think anything really about it. I kid you not, Sir Brian Bowden, who is a good friend of ours, you'll meet him at the conference. He's a great psychic medium. My phone rings and it's him on the phone. I kid you not. He knew nothing about Emmaus. The man lives in Florida, so he's never been there. He called to tell me that we had a Bigfoot watching us, and he described the building that it was behind, that old house and that old shed. I kid you not, honest to God's truth. So Frankie, he's very skeptic on the cryptid side, but he's not denying it anymore because he can't explain that. And that, like Brian didn't even know like we were there. Like my phone rings out of the middle of the blue. You know what I'm saying? It was just, if that's woo, that is pretty woo. However, you gotta kind of go with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. A random supernatural coincidence.
Right.
There you go.
So anyway, I just thought it was pretty incredible, and for somebody who was a non-believer, he's not necessarily a whole non-believer anymore.
No, yeah. The thing that tripped me out the most about the Amaze Asylum was like you'd be standing there and observing the building, taking note of your surroundings, and when you look down, look back, a door's open. It's like it messed with your mind. It's just like I know that door was closed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You remember? Yeah, those doors were closed. Remember?
Yeah, and they're heavy metal doors, like government building doors, school doors, pretty much, hospital doors.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So I don't know. It was pretty incredible, and you know, as you know, you're welcome back anytime with us.
Okay, I appreciate that. I feel like the thermal drone might catch something really good there, especially during the fall, wintertime.
Yeah.
Yep. I also invited Adam as well. I told him, you know, you guys are welcome to come anytime out there with us. So
Okay, cool.
But the last time we were there, I was hearing strange, like, cattle. And I know there's cattle in the area, and that wasn't surprising to me. But again, it was late. But the cattle off in the distance sounded like audibly irritated, like something was riling them up out there. And it wasn't just a little bit. I'm like thinking maybe, the rancher or whatever was bringing them into a different pasture that night, whatever they were doing it. And they do make noise. They're loud. I get that. But it kept going and going, and then it would stop, and then it would start again. And again, it was off in the distance, going like out towards and past the cemetery. It was the sound was coming from that way, and I didn't understand that either. Like I said, I mean, when you hear your cattle going off like that, your rancher they either have dogs, which they do hang out at a maze a lot. There's a bunch of dogs that keep the coyotes and all of that away. But I mean, it was just a constant. So that kind of made me wonder a little bit. I mean, I didn't hear the howls or anything like that would say that's where that's where this thing was. But I just found it kind of weird that the cattle were so upset for so long, and then they would stop and then they would start again. Because like I said, usually a rancher would be out there if there was that much commotion, for sure.
Yeah.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know if I should talk about this on the podcast, but I had several old employees from the Amaze Asylum contact me and tell me that I was lying, that none of that stuff happened, and we're pretty much making all that up. They're like, it's not haunted, and there wasn't mistreatment there. I was like, if you don't believe me, let's go. You can come with me if you don't believe it's haunted, but I know what I experienced.
Yeah.
The place speaks for itself.
Absolutely, it does. And here's the thing: they had contacted other members of our team too, and they deny that it's haunted. And I mean, like you said, the place speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Oh,
they never replied. I mean, to my knowledge, maybe they did, and I didn't get the reply.
Yeah. Well, basically, when we're all outside and there's lights on the inside flashing around, like somebody has a flashlight on the inside, we're all outside.
Yeah.
What does that tell you?
Oh yeah, especially when we talk to, what do we call them, like the drifters or the hippies that were staying in the buses. We've never met them, never spoke to them. One of the guys walked into the asylum before we all left. We were just sitting there talking at the end of the trip, and one of the guys walked in and was like, oh, sorry, and then he was getting ready to walk out, and you're like, wait, come here. And then we asked him, have you heard strange noises here? And he's like, yes. And then he told us that he'd see shadows like hovering over him, looking at him through the windows. He's heard the cryptid creatures, and like he's saying the same thing that we're pretty much talking about in our videos and the interviews. Never met the guy, and he said word for word what we experienced.
Yeah. So I mean, that validates everything right there. And I think these people, there is an Emmaus Village still open in St. Charles. And they don't want a bad rap, and I get that. I totally understand that. And maybe they, were not, abusive to anybody, or they're not abusive to anybody. But I mean, facts are facts. It's documented what happened at that place. And, accidents and tragic deaths did happen. I mean, it's a fact. You can't change history, So, the naysayers, they can say that all they want, trying to preserve, I guess, their image now. But it is what it is. And that place,
Yeah, I mean, my opinion is if like you're giving somebody medication, it's not working, you're forcing them to take. I'm not saying they did force them, but I'm saying like knowing that it's not helping them, why would you keep giving it to them? That
Right.
I feel like that's mistreatment, but
I
I
do
don't
too.
have a professional opinion on that. That's just my opinion.
Right.
True.
Right.
True.
And and the people, like you've been in there, you've seen like the rooms and where the bathrooms are and things like that, and it was overcrowded and things like that. That's forms of abuse to me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It was like a prison. I mean, they had that room where what was it, the Mad Albert room?
Mad
I don't know
Albert.
if that's true, but
Yes.
like that looks like a prison cell. That doesn't look like. I mean, it was the confinement room. Like,
Yeah.
If they are chained to the room,
for how long was he in there? According to what
A
they
long
said.
time. It was like, I think like 10 or 12 years, I think.
yeah, chained to the room. If you're chained inside a room, is that not mistreatment?
I'd go crazy if they chained me to a room, or if I was in that building, stuck in that building. I mean, there's just got to be a better way. But again, nothing against their new methods now, but the way they did things in the past
Sure.
is different than what they do today.
Absolutely. And for them to deny it, maybe they've come a long way, and God forbid, I hope they did, because I couldn't imagine anybody today being mistreated, but you hear it all the time in nursing homes, and things. So I just pray that, that they've, do better than what their predecessors did.
Yeah. Well, T-Bone asked, why did they call it the Mad Albert room?
So
It's basically because Albert was mad. He was literally mad, and they chained him in that room for years on end.
10 or 12 years, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So and I'm like you, I would have went mad and crazy being chained in that.
And it would have just gotten worse.
Guys, something. This room is the size of a half bath. It's not a big room. Like a half bathroom is the size of it. That's it. So any of us would have went mad in that room.
Right?
Oh yeah. I know I don't agree with most things that California does, but for like mental health now, they've figured out that taking people out into nature, camping in nature, and getting away from society has actually helped improve people's mental health. Like I feel like that's a better route.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah. Nature is healing for everybody. I don't care. If you're having a bad day, go sit outside and listen to the sounds.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. There's always another way. There's always an alternative.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So anyway, I just find Emmaus, it's like I said, with the history, it goes way back, and I think it's an incredible building, and I'm excited to do more of the cryptid side of things out there.
Yeah. I mean, whoever says the place is not a trifecta, because it is a trifecta. Because we were noticing lights in the sky that did not make sense in a flight pattern. They weren't noticeably looking like normal aircraft. We've got sounds from something that is not I would say that is not known to us by sound. That's not saying it's not indigenous, because it could be to that area. We just didn't know it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, and then you have the haunting. I mean, because the things that we saw just on that one weekend with you are irrefutable. You cannot deny what had happened, and you cannot say that that place does not have some strange goings on. It's just a fact. Now, these people that are reaching out and saying, hey, it's not haunted, it's not this, it's not that, clearly have not spent any time there, I would say, in any type of isolation.
Yeah. I had friends that used to work like in nursing homes, and they said strange things would happen. The lights would turn on their own, doors would slam, and these are like newer nursing homes. And I've spoke personally with a lot of doctors that have spoken with people who've had near-death experiences and things that they just can't explain, like people that were for sure going to die and like somehow were miraculously healed. Like 100% certain death, and the next day, like, it's gone, and they just have no explanation. Like, doctors experience things all the time in these facilities that they can't explain.
Yep, absolutely, they do.
Oh my gosh, yeah. There's just all kinds of stuff, and I mean, it's all unexplained. So, I mean, it's scientifically, it cannot be explained. So the perfect definition is paranormal. It's paranormal. You know, I mean, no matter how you want to cut it, it's paranormal, supernatural, whatever whatever you want to say. But I mean, like I said, these people just don't understand that there are other things out there, and if you don't, like I said, or have never encountered anything like that or anything like that, of course it wouldn't be haunted to you.
Even the property owners, like, they said it themselves, like, yeah, we hear stuff all the time. Everybody that we spoke to said the same thing, like, word for word.
Yeah, and we didn't know them, you know.
Yeah, first time ever talking to them.
Right. So that, I mean, all that stuff is interesting, and you know, I like to think that nursing homes and you know, I guess asylums or whatever, that they treat people better today. You know, I wouldn't want my parents or grandparents or my loved one being mistreated, you know, so I hope that they've stepped up to the plate, a lot of them. But unfortunately, you do hear a lot of bad things, you know.
That's my current fear. That is my current fear. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And that's why, you know, I know why you have your mom with you.
Yes. I mean, does it become, you know, like hard at times? Sure, it does, but it's nothing compared to making sure that she's happy where she's at. No, if she's happy where she's at, well, I'm good. It was just like the other day when I finally brought her home from the hospital, which was yesterday. I brought her home from the hospital, so we stopped by the store. I got a little ice cream and a Powerball ticket. She was good, you know. It's the little things. It's the little things, you know.
Yes, absolutely.
No,
yeah.
Even without there being any hauntings or mistreatment, like being in a hospital day after day after day is torture.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's
And
no
you know,
in the hospital.
And I do believe that. I mean, I can understand why hospitals are a real hot spot for activity. I get it. I mean, I watched my mom for over 2 weeks. I mean, she just went from one illness to another illness to another illness to finally where she got good enough where I could pull her out and bring her home so she could get healthy. Isn't that crazy? So, but I can see where, you know, that all of the, I wouldn't call it tragedy, but death and passing and all of that stuff. I mean, I can understand why that would bring so much energy into a location, where it's hard to deny. It's just hard to deny. I think I have the best places for me that I love to investigate are, of course, they would be something medical. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And I'm like you guys, you know, with the, you know, the trifecta, you know.
Yeah. It's got weird stuff. It's just weird.
So Miguel, where is one place that you have not been that you want to go and do some research?
I want to go to Clearwater Lake. I've heard a lot of strange things come out of there. I feel like that'd be a really cool place to go. I'm not sure if it's surrounded by Mark Twain or the Corps of Engineer land, but it looks like a hot spot just from looking at a map.
There's a lot of it. There's a lot of it that is Corps of Engineer. A lot of it.
Well, is it Lake Wapapello down in that area, and it's all Corps run?
Yes, it is. Up towards the Greenville area, yes, it is.
Yeah, that's by the Mango Swamp.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And of course, like I said, the Mark Twain starts like 10 miles from my house. So there's a lot going on. And, you know, you can start in like the Greenville area and just work your way across the state. And it's just, you know.
Yeah, there's a lot of reports from Greenville, Annapolis, Piedmont. It's a good area. Lake Wapapello.
Miguel,
Yes.
did you hear about the hunter? I guess what was it, 2 years ago, Brandy, down in your area?
Yeah, it was the hunter who had passed away out in the woods, and it was near Sam A. Baker, Clearwater area. All of that is somewhere out in that Piedmont stretch right there. And he had gone out with his son hunting, and his son went to go in for the evening. The father never returned. They found him the next day, and he had died of hypothermia. But he was nowhere near where he was at in his deer stand. He was nowhere near that. He was missing his orange vest. He did not have his weapon with him. He was, like I said, died of hypothermia. But we know, as being a hunter, that you never lose your weapon and you never take off your orange, especially when deer hunting. Never. And he was both. So it was very strange. And they were not like he took them off and set them down and was nearby them. It was like they were away from him, and he had gone like walking, running somewhere, and actually fell into, I don't know if it was a creek or something like that. But the hypothermia is what really gets me too. I mean, it was 52 degrees that night, and I remember specifically because I was saying, "Hey, it's kind of warm out there tonight," and they're like, "Yeah, it's only a low of 52." So it was, it was pretty much above freezing. You're going to be cold, but I mean, I'm not a doctor. I don't know, but I mean, if you're wet, I mean, that's probably, it could have happened, but it was strange for me to hear the story about him not having his weapon, not being in his orange, and being out in the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
And
The whole thing sounded fishy.
yes, it does. It does. And they said it wasn't a heart attack. They didn't determine his death to be a heart attack. It was hypothermia. So the man had been out there hunting that place for years. So getting turned around would have been kind of hard for him.
Yeah. Yeah, the locals have a different story than what the state patrol report showed. I'm not sure on the details, but I mean, I think from what I heard was he shot a buck, they crossed the creek or the river, and he left his gun and took off his clothes to pursue the buck. But it's like, why would he take his clothes off in the wintertime in ice cold spring fed water? And why would you leave your gun if you're pursuing a buck? What if you need a second shot?
Right. That's what that gun thing really.
Because those springs will stay 58 to 65 degrees all year round. So that makes me wonder about, I mean, he would have actually literally been warmer in the water.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the search team went there and looked all over the place, and where they parked all their vehicles is where they found his body laying the second day when they went in to look for him, right there where they'd all parked. Like something brought his body back.
Wow. That's
interesting. It's that strangest story. And I'm just like, what is happening? And why would you I've not taken off my clothes to get into water when it's cold outside. I'm just not doing it. I don't care how warm the water is because I know I still have to get out. But I'm not gonna chase that buck down. I swear I'm not going to. I'll come back for it the next day. I'll go look for it, where I'm more prepared to go look for it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something is so wrong about that story.
Well, that and the Amazon driver. Little Patty asked more about the Amazon driver, and I think you and I, Miguel, I think we had talked about that. That happened up in outside of Excelsior Springs, between Excelsior Springs and Richmond, Missouri, where that happened. And there was just everything so weird about that too.
Yeah.
If you come up on that Thursday, come up a day early. I'll take you over there and I'll show you that area.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. There's a few times where I thought I was going to go missing in the woods. That's for sure. And do you guys want to hear about it?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I went to hunt at an area close to Merrimack Springs, and I had my hunting stand connected to my backpack, and it was like a portable one. And I walked down a state forest road. The gate was shut, like one of those brown gates, and it was locked. So you can't drive in there. So I was like, oh, I'm going to have to walk a long ways. And there's food plot after food plot after food plot down that Forest Service road. So I was like, oh, I'm going to keep walking as far as I can. I'm going to try to get away from other hunters. There was nobody in the area. I could have stopped at the first food plot and not seen a hunter the entire night. But I just wanted to get to a food plot where I believe that there hasn't been any hunters, no hunting pressure. And I finally found one that looked pretty good. And I set up my deer stand and I got up there. A few hours went by. I didn't see anything. And then it hit me like, oh man, I forgot my headlamp. Like when I have to break all this down, I'm not going to be able to see at night. And I got like my bow, like a bunch of expensive equipment. I had my camera because I was like trying to film the shot with my bow. But knowing that I didn't have my headlamp, I was like, dude, I cannot leave my stuff out here. I can't afford to lose anything. And if I do, I'll have to walk all the way back down there, which is a far walk. It was a pretty far drive to get there. So I started breaking down and I was hugging the tree and I looked across that field and I saw this buck. He was crossing the field and he was looking right at me. So like I froze, I'm hugging this tree, trying not to move. And he's just staring me down. So like I tried bringing my bow back up. I finally get it back up into the tree stand and I sit down. And as soon as I sit down, he trots off, going the opposite direction. So I was like, all right, and I blew it. And I blew this spot. So I broke everything down before it got dark. And I was walking back. And about halfway back, I start hearing something paralleling me in the woods. I'm like, ooh, that sounds big. Oh, man, it's probably a black bear. So I would stop. It would stop. And I'd start walking, it would start walking. But I mean, this thing was close and it was following me. I'm like, man, if that's a big buck, why would it be following a human? It should like take off running. Like it would already figure out what it was. And then it freaked me out. I'm like, oh man, I'm being followed by a mountain lion. But this continued for about 5 or 10 minutes. I mean, this thing was just following me and it sounded huge. And all of a sudden I hear this sound coming from behind me, like it was 2 younger guys on e-bikes, and I felt like this sense of relief because I didn't feel alone. But as quickly as I heard that sound and I was seeing them, they were gone in seconds, and then everything got dead quiet again. And I don't have my headlamp, and I'm thinking about pulling out my camera, but my stand is strapped over my backpack, so I would have to break everything down and unzip the backpack and get my camera out. And I was like, no way, because if I have to run, all this stuff's going to be in the middle of the road. So I did like the fastest walk that I could because I couldn't run. Like my gear was heavy and I had my bow in my hand. So okay, but eventually it stopped and I got out of there. But whatever this thing was, which I know Sasquatch is in there because I'd had a sighting in that area. I feel like it was trying to get me. I feel like it was hunting me. And other researchers will say Sasquatch will escort you out of an area, but I don't feel like they were just like, hey, get out of here. I feel like I was being hunted. Like this thing was contemplating its next move, how it was going to take me out and make me disappear. I mean, that's honestly how I feel. Like my intuition, my senses were telling me that like you were being hunted. For some reason, I decided not to. Maybe because I had a bow and all kinds of gear, but it targeted me.
So do you think it could have been maybe a dog man?
I've thought about that too, because I've personally taken reports from people on the channel that they've seen a dog-like creature in that area. And where I saw that hellhound I told you on the last podcast interview, that's that same spot. And where I heard the werewolf howl, I told you guys about that too. That's not too far from there. It's probably like 20 minutes from there. And that same woods connects to that area.
Yeah.
It's a 20-minute drive because you got to go all the way around and go down the state highway. But if you just went across as the crow flies, it's not that far away.
Yeah. Wow. And that was in the Merrimack Springs Park?
Pretty close to it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a conservation area that surrounds it.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds weird. Okay, so I know that when stuff like that happens, I mean, and you hear something coming behind you, I mean, the last thing we're doing is that a hoof sound? Is that a padded foot sound? Is that, you're trying to determine what's coming after you. But what did it sound? I mean, from what you can remember, what did it sound like to you?
It sounded like a ginormous bear on all fours, just walking with me. But
See,
when I stopped, it would stop.
I don't see a bear stopping when you stop. You know?
There are bears in that area, but yeah, this thing had an intelligence to it. Like if you're following someone, if you're like some weird stalker and you're following someone and like they notice you and you like stop, like it, I don't know, it had like that mentality to it.
Yeah, because bears are quite loud. I'm pretty sure you would have heard it. And understood you were still in trouble at that time. He knows if you heard it, you'd still been in trouble. But I mean, they're not quiet creatures.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it was Bigfoot escorting me out of the area, and they're like, "There's a dog man here. We're gonna make sure you get to your car safely." I don't know. I'm just being funny.
You know what though? I am one though. You trust your intuition. You know, your intuition. That's one thing that will never lie to you. It will always be honest with you. And if you felt like there was something, not so nice there, I don't see where it was a nice Bigfoot escorting you out.
Yeah, it definitely felt.
It's not going to lie to you.
Yeah, it felt dark, and I mean, it doesn't sound like much of a story, like telling it to people on the podcast. But if you would just close your eyes and picture you're out in the middle of a forest, in the middle of nowhere, walking at night, and you can't see 5 feet in front of you, and there's something huge following you, like it's definitely
by yourself.
Yeah, by yourself.
Well, I know if that you didn't stop and take out your camera. Something is definitely wrong, because you would be the first one to get your camera. So get it
right.
Yeah. I think I would have been. I think I would have been terrified.
Yeah, I think what saved me was I just didn't take off running. I feel like if I would have took off running, it would have triggered this thing, and it would have just chased me.
And see,
apparently the guys on the bikes didn't hear anything or see anything or were not bothered because they were just going along as usual. I mean, because normally I'd give somebody a heads up like, hey, there's a bear coming. There's, a mountain lion back there. There's something, hey, be careful. It's coming.
Yeah, I think that may be what helped me because, like, I didn't hear it coming till they were already, like, passing me. I just heard this weird sound. There they are. Now they're gone. Those bikes they'll book it and they're super quiet. But I felt relieved when they passed by. I was like, oh, thank goodness. And then they were gone. It's just like, okay.
It's like, well, now right back to where I was.
Yeah, that's a reason why I got an e-bike. What's up?
How much further did you have to walk back by yourself?
I would say like 1.5 miles back.
And that's a long time if you really, seriously. Man.
It is because the whole way back was slightly uphill too.
Oh, man. Yeah. Wow.
That makes it worse. You're not even going downhill. You got to walk uphill.
When I first started the channel, there was a guy that contacted me. I was never able to get him on the podcast, and I might have his story somewhere, like on a text message. But he said he was bow hunting that same area, that same exact spot. And he ran into a big male Sasquatch. He said it was over 10 feet tall and that it mind spoke to him, which I've never experienced that with the paranormal. I have, but not with Bigfoot. But he was freaked out. I could not get him to come on the show. Another thing is I met this guy at the gym, super nice guy, very credible person. And he heard about my channel and he's like, I'm really interested to know if there's other life on this planet. And he said he's a big time hiker and he knew nothing about my story, like what I just told you guys, the area. He said, yeah, we were talking about hiking. And he was like, yeah, I was out there by Merrimack Springs. Me and Buddy were hiking. And like, this is the same exact spot where I got paralleled by this creature. He said that him and his buddy were hiking. And all of a sudden, something huge rushed down the hill at him, and it was coming straight at him. And he had to say, like, get out of here, like really loud. And he said, whatever it was, it took off running. And I was like, wait, where did that happen at?
Right.
And I told him my story. I never said it was Bigfoot. I was like, I got followed by something.
Yeah.
And yeah, because you don't know. I mean, you really don't know. But it gave you that feeling like, hey, you shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Super dangerous area. And my first actual sighting was pretty much there. Like if you go all the way down that Forest Service road, hop across the Merrimack River and go up the bluff, like it was the back way to get into that conservation area. But that's where I parked my Mustang. I got out. This was the day before bow hunting season in 2018. And I'm on top of a huge cliff, so I can see the entire Merrimack Valley. And I'm just standing there looking, trying to figure out how I'm going to get down that hill to hunt the next day, because it's September 14th when I'm out there on a Friday on 2018. And I turn around and I start walking back to my Mustang, and I see this jet black creature on all fours, and it gets behind a tree and slowly hides behind a tree. But that's all I saw, and I was like, damn, that had to have been an intelligent black bear, just to slowly hide behind a tree, like in slow motion. That's all I saw. Didn't know what it was. The next morning I went there and I was like, screw this. I'm not hunting in this area. There's a huge black bear here, and I have to go down that huge cliff and cross the river to get into that conservation.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Yeah. That's it's quite an interesting area. And actually, you know, I mean, I've been to Merrimack Springs. I've been to like the fish hatchery and stuff. It's beautiful down there. It's absolutely beautiful down there. And, you know, have you been around like the old buildings in that area?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
they're pretty cool.
Yeah, where like creatures can be out there.
I actually got a report fairly recently. I think the guy is from Ironton, or maybe he's from Poplar Bluff, but he came up to Merrimack Springs. This was very recent. This was this trout season, past trout season. He said he was trout fishing inside the park, like where the spring is and it flows out. He said he was trout fishing, and he said this creature came up out of the water, just the head. He said it looked like a chimpanzee, and it saw him, and it like got back in the water. He said he swears it was a Bigfoot.
Wow. And you know, that's interesting too, because you know, that's spring water. That is cold water right in that area.
These things swim like gators, like beavers.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, but we know that Sasquatch is basically they're winterized, you know, so that would be something they'd be used to, especially if that is their area that they stay in. They're used to that cold water.
Well, my point being is like you know, like different types of dogs have, you know, an undercoat. Maybe that's something that Sasquatch is like an undercoat or something, you know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because Krista, we've heard the reports of when they're in like other areas where, like, say, the swamp areas and things like that. They're going to cover themselves in mud. Right. And things like that to keep, you know, the bugs and everything and all that stuff off them. And animals do that too. So do people. People do it too.
Animals are really resilient. It doesn't matter if it gets 110 degrees outside or if it's like 40 below. They know how to survive.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. So I've got a question for you, Miguel. You know, Brandy and I, when we had our encounter, what we saw was definitely on the flesh and blood side. We never seen, there was nothing woo to our encounter. However, we are believers in the woo side of things. And, you know, we believe that these weird things happen, you know, along with some Sasquatch encounters. Can you talk about anything on the like woo side that you have encountered anywhere?
Yeah. Where I had my encounters, told you guys on the last episode, I continued researching that area. And by this point, I've had several Class A sightings on that property. But I found myself sitting out there in the middle of the woods in a black chair. And I was trying to get them to come up to me. And I sat there for weeks. And every day I could hear something probably about 80 to 90 yards off into the woods, just far enough where you couldn't see. I'd hear like a little twig snap. I'm like, okay. So I've been hearing that for weeks. And finally it just hit me. I'm like, man, this is either like squirrels or robins. It's got to be birds just bouncing around the forest floor or something. But by that point, I'm paranoid because I'd seen them. I know how sneaky they are. And that day, I decided to go down the trail. And by this this point, prior to that, I took a leaf blower and created a trail all the way through that property, kind of like a state park. Like there's like a natural trail there, but I made this one with the intentions of sneaking down that trail, and I had not used it since I made it with the leaf blower. So I was wearing my Crocs that morning, super quiet shoes if you want to look for Sasquatch. For some reason, Crocs are super quiet. It's one of my secrets, but I know it sounds goofy. But anyways, I decided that morning I'm going to sneak down the trail to see what it is. It's probably a bird or just a squirrel. It's got to be. And I got all the way down that ridge, down that trail, and I went real quiet, real slowly. And I was looking to my left, and all of a sudden I heard this grunt. It sounded like a bear or like a big buck in the rut, just real nasty grunt. So I look over, and I see this brown creature. And it definitely looks like a Sasquatch. But I mean, all this happened like super quick. I mean, the entire sighting was like 1.5 seconds, maybe like 2 seconds. But it grunted. It was early in the morning in the summertime, so it was still cool out. But after it grunted, it like blew steam out of its nose, like in its mouth.
Wow.
And it looked like this brown creature. I mean, it had been a juvenile. It looked like it just poofed into thin air, like disappeared. It looked like somebody took like sand and threw it up in the wind, and it like disappeared like a ghost. But once that happened, I immediately thought like that had to been Speed, like Flash the superhero, or this thing just vanished into thin air. And right when that happened, on the other side where I was originally looking at, I heard knock, 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 like really loud, like somebody ringing the dinner bell, but with wood knocks. Just pow, 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 pow. Like really fast, rapid wood knocks. So like they knew they got caught, but for sure it was like a flesh and blood creature that just disappeared into thin air like a ghost.
Wow.
I don't know if it was Speed. Maybe it is Speed. Like some creatures are like burst speed, like fast, like Flash the superhero.
Well, they say they can keep up with cars, that and dogmen.
Yeah.
But later on, I'd seen a video. This was probably a year ago. It was on TikTok, so I'm not sure if you can believe it. But this thing looked like a Sasquatch. It was standing on the riverbank. I mean, it was actually a really good quality video, and it poofed, like disappeared. Like it was a jet black Sasquatch, and it looked like it turned into black smoke and just disappeared. There's also another one where the Sasquatch is hiding behind like a thin tree. And like he's too big to hide behind the tree, but when he goes behind the tree, he completely disappears. Like the tree is way too thin for how big he is. It was like something out of a cartoon. Yeah, I don't know if that's real, but I'm saying like that's the kind of stuff they can do. So I suspect it is. There's like a supernatural component to it. Maybe like an alternate, like another dimension, a parallel universe, or it's just like these are supernatural beings from the pre-flood era. And that's what they said about the giants. The giants had supernatural abilities, and we see that with the Sasquatch.
Right.
Yeah. I always wondered, and I kept thinking about maybe it's like I don't even know how to explain this, but more like their hair follicle. Like their hair follicle could be more of a clear, and it could bend light. So it'll kind of just blend with its surroundings as it moves sometimes.
I've thought about that, like a cuttlefish, a chameleon, or a frog. It's pretty interesting how frogs can like change to whatever they're on. Like the other day, I saw a frog on a metal ladder, and he was like a silver color. You couldn't even tell he was there. It was cool.
Right.
Yeah.
And it just made me wonder if maybe that's some of what we're calling cloaking or something like that. I mean, is it maybe, like I said, their hair follicles, they kind of can bend the light and just kind of blend into the situation. I mean, within reason, of course. But it just makes me wonder if that's true. If you find out, Miguel, let me know.
I'll definitely let you know. Yeah. But it makes you wonder, some missing people, like they're just never seen again. Like they went into like a different land, a different world, poof, disappeared forever, never to be seen again.
Yep.
Exactly. I mean, maybe that world is better than the one we're living in. You know what I'm saying?
It's got to be. It's got to be. They probably have Mountain Dew and Takis.
Yeah,
that's right.
they probably do.
I bet you Texas is mad today.
Right. I know. Mm.
Yeah, that's funny. You know, yeah, I just don't know.
I don't either. That's what I said. It's kind of like the ghost pepper. What are they going to outlaw that next? I mean,
Yeah.
who knows?
You
Who
know,
knows?
here's the thing too. So the other night, I co-hosted the Night Owl Texas Front Porch with Brent Thomas from Paranormal Portal,
Mhm.
and he and I were chit chatting, and he was talking about his UFO encounter, and that's pretty incredible because he could see it. He could not see it with his naked eye, but he looked through. I forgot what it was. He had infrared or something. He could look through it and he could see it through that, but he couldn't see it with his naked eye, and it wasn't that far up in the sky away from him. And so that really, it kind of like makes me wonder, can Bigfoot do the same thing? People talk about them cloaking, being right there. Could they be?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
or
could
bending
be.
the light.
I used to have a night vision device. It cost probably about $1,000. This was years ago, but the brand was Armacite. And when I would look through that night vision scope, I would see things that I couldn't see with my naked eye. And this is before I believed in the paranormal. I looked through that scope. I got too many stories. No one's gonna believe me, but it looked like
I believe
this.
you. We do.
I don't know. It looked like this upright deer looking thing with like big horns. I don't know how to explain it. I didn't look through it again, and I had to go past it to get back to my house, but it freaked me out. But I swear, and like I would look up at the sky and like see like lights moving, and when I'd like look with the naked eye, I didn't see it. But for some reason, with this night vision device, I would see.
Yeah,
things.
little Patty just said what I was thinking. Wendigo.
Yeah, I didn't want to say the name, and I didn't know what that was at all. I'd never even heard anything years ago when I'd seen that thing. That's the same property where like something bluff charged me. I seen orbs. I was having a lot of paranormal activity. I didn't know what to make of it.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that. And yeah, because that sounds really dark though. And
it was.
And a Wendigo would just make complete sense because of all the dark things that you said that you were encountering and experiencing on that particular property. So yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. And later on, I always say later on, I've seen a video, but I did see a video where they were talking about people in Vietnam when they looked through night vision devices, they'd see like demonic creatures. I don't know if that's true, but supposedly like they quit using that specific type of night vision because of that reason, because people could see on the other side of the veil.
Wow. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, there's a lot of videos about it. It's pretty creepy. There's a lot of people from Vietnam that swear they'd be in helicopters and look through it and see like all kinds of demons and strange creatures.
Yeah, it's just kind of like the whole alien thing. I love watching the videos of like airplane pilots or fighter jet pilots or them which have tracking systems, and when they finally lock onto these things as they're flying, and you can hear them talking as they're videoing this, and it's like, oh, cool! I finally got one. I targeted one. Da da da. It's like they see them quite often, but it's not out of the ordinary to them, but it's always exciting. So it's like, how often are they seeing these things?
Oh yeah, and I've noticed with the paranormal, they're able to manipulate technology, like they can control it if they want to. Have you guys ever had an experience like that, where like they come through the TV or like an EVP, you know what I mean? Something like that.
Spirit boxes. They do mess with electronic equipment. They'll drain batteries. They've even jumped in on the podcast. They've even broken into the podcast, and you can hear a voice.
The ones at Brandy's house, yes.
Yeah.
I had one take over my guitar amp before, and it was a Catholic priest that said he served God his entire life, and he doesn't know why he ended up in hell. And he said a lot of priests and preachers are going to hell, and because of the way they live their life. And it was scary. Like he said that he used to drink, he smoked cigarettes, and it was scary. He was talking about how horrible hell was.
Wow.
That's odd.
Yeah. The scariest thing was
that would freak me out right there.
oh, it that screwed me up for life. But the scary part was that same guy that was talking through my amp. I got on YouTube because he started talking about the sounds of hell, and I was just listening to the sounds of hell earlier that day. And I guess it's like where in Russia they drilled into the ground and they could hear like the sounds of hell, just like people screaming and torture. I don't know if you guys ever heard that. Don't look it up though. But anyways, I looked it up because I was like, wait, I just looked that up earlier. He's talking about the sounds of hell. And like I typed in sounds of hell on YouTube. I clicked on the first video that popped up on YouTube. And the guy that was on the YouTube video was the same guy that was talking through my amp. Super freaky, super terrifying. It messed me up for life. I still have nightmares about it to this day.
Yeah, I would have no desire to listen to that, honestly.
No, it was horrible.
I feel like anything like that, what even watching people go through an exorcism, you shouldn't watch that kind of stuff.
No, for sure. I felt like God was telling me if I didn't change my life, I was going to hell. Because as the Catholic priest was speaking through my amp, I'm telling you, this was like a horrible amp. It was so crappy that like my guitar didn't sound very good. But when he spoke through it, it sounded like a preacher, like an African-American preacher was like preaching on stage. Like it was crystal clear, like loud and clear. But he said that he used to smoke cigarettes. And like I smoked cigarettes at that time. So I had my ashtray there and there was literally a cigarette burn. He's like, I remember when I used to drink, I had like 4 or 5 Bud Lights sitting there. And he's like, I used to be Catholic. I'm like, I'm Catholic. But like the things that he was saying were like, I don't know, like paralleling my life. It was scary. But I felt like God was warning me if I didn't change my life, I was going to hell.
Well, you talk about that. You said the Russians did that for the sounds of hell.
Yeah, they were trying to listen to the sounds of the earth, like seismic activity. And what they recorded was not the sounds of the earth, like
That's
the
scary.
earth churning. Yeah, it was like an ocean of people screaming in pain.
Yeah. Well, it sounds very familiar because there is a place in the Czech Republic called the Huska Castle. And the castle is built like a fortress. It's not huge, but it's like a fortress. And it's not to keep people out. It's to keep whatever it is in. And in the middle of this is a deep, dark hole. And the folklore goes is they had prisoners there, very few, but they had prisoners there. And they said that they would send somebody down the hole. And, if they survive and come out of it, that they would be released. Eventually, this one guy the first guy they sent down there came back up. They brought him back up, and he was totally great. His everything turned white on him, and he just was speaking gibberish after that. And because they sent him down that hole. Now, how much of that is true? How much of it is just da 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 da? But it's weird how you would build a fortress around a hole in the ground. And this one was not man-made. This one was not man-made. This was one that was already. This was already in the earth, and they built this castle around it. It's called the Huska Castle. It's in Czech Republic, and it's like I said, very odd, very strange. Look at the architecture. It's open. You can go and tour it if you want to.
Yeah. My immediate impression on what that could be is like I instantly like start thinking about like the fallen angels took women as their wives and God casted them out into the abyss, chained up until the day of judgment.
Like it's almost like a gateway to hell.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Right. Which, but what you were talking about is just like it's just so reminiscent of that. So it's not the first time that I've heard that.
That's scary.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I listening to that kind of stuff or seeing, I have no interest in it.
She's like, no, leave me out of it. Leave me out of it.
Yeah. I
wouldn't wish that on anyone.
No.
But I mean, it's stories like that. They just catch my interest because they're odd, and you're like, are these things really existing? here.
Yeah. And
And then
before that thing started talking through my amp, I heard a chatter. It sounded like a man and woman talking back and forth, like.
yes,
And it was
that's
crazy because I was sitting there listening to it for 20 minutes. My friend was actually in the living room playing Call of Duty, had the big screen turned all the way up, so you could hear explosions like he's playing Call of Duty, like multiplayer. But anyways, like it was super loud in the house. And I was listening to this chatter, and I unplugged every single device in that room, the computer, everything, and I got my head on the carpet floor, and I'm like trying to hear, like, where is this coming from? I'm trying to figure it out, and I tell my friend to come in there, and he's like, what? I was like, dude, I'm hearing voices, and he sat in there for like 10, 15 minutes, and after a while, he just gave me that blank stare, like, come on, dude. And then all of a sudden he starts hearing it too. And then that's when the amp turned on and it was crystal clear. It was weird. Yeah. So there's a lot leading up to it. Actually, this is like a long drawn out story. Days before that, there was stuff going on. And that amp situation kicked off a series of events that lasted for months.
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, and I get that too. I really do get it. I mean, as I don't necessarily talk to the things that happen around here. I don't open that can of worms here. But I do talk about it quite a bit. I mean, it's still giving it energy, but when it acts up, I don't acknowledge it. But it's hard when it's disruptive, like it's disrupting your life, like it's like right there, and it's terrifying because you don't know. Like Chris and I always say, I mean, you might hear somebody talking to you, but be careful because you never know what that thing could be. I mean, everybody wants to say, hey, it's my grandma, it's my grandpa, it's, whomever. Are you sure?
Nope.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we say that about mind speaking too. How do you really know? How do you really know? You don't. So
The Bible talks about deceiving spirits. It's like, how do you know?
yes.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. I was at a place, and I think I said this on Texas show the other night, or I don't know, it might have been BMR or somebody's show. And, we were, had it was a ghost box that was running, and voices came through, and it was, said it was my grandma, and it named off all her grandkids and like knew them all, but it wasn't my grandma.
Mm-hmm.
I know it wasn't my grandma, I didn't fall for it. And they will trick you. They will trick you to fall for things like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
They want to hit you where it hurts.
That's right.
Right. So that's why I think that I have a hard time with the mind speaking part, because I kind of gel it with the paranormal side. Is I don't believe everything it says. I don't believe it's this little girl, that is stuck here in the afterlife. It's here with it. I don't want to believe that. I don't believe it.
Yeah, kind of like Dog Man crying like a baby out in the woods to lure you out there.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly like that. Exactly like that.
Which leads you to, like you said, dogmen lure out to the woods, and a lot of people believe, a dogman is on the demonic side of things. And maybe it is, because it's one thing, it's trickery, and that's what demons do.
Yeah.
To get you to open yourself up to them, and we'll all go to a baby or an elderly person or a herd animal or, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is just like, you could be paralleled out of the woods by something, or you could be hunting way out in the middle of nowhere and you start hearing somebody say, help me, or a baby crying. Like the next thing you know, you're never seen again.
Right. You're one of the missing 411.
That's right. That's right. I get that. I don't know. That's what I mean. Out of all the creatures, cryptids, everything, I think Dogman is my most feared. That I don't want to ever run into one of those. And I always have the fear going into the woods nowadays because of all the sightings that are coming up, especially even in my area. It's like, man, I could be just driving down one of these back roads late at night and bam, there's one, and that's my biggest fear, I think, because they're just, I don't know if it's us invading their space and that's why they're just coming out so much now, or is something else happening? Which
I think something else is happening. I think
yeah,
things are leading up to something, and yeah, I mean,
yeah,
the story I told you, I never tell anyone, and there's certain things that I don't unlock out of the box, but I know that you
yeah,
guys are understanding. I definitely
yeah.
need somebody to tell, and I know you guys will believe me. So that's the only reason I'm
Absolutely.
talking
Oh,
about it.
absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, out of all the crazy stuff that happens here, just in my home alone, I'm good with everything that you're telling me because you know what, I absolutely believe it. I mean, there's so many strange things out here nowadays that people just are. I don't know if they're turning a blind eye to it and they're not seeing it, and I can see it as plain as day. But
Yeah.
you know, and other people just go walking about their normal everyday life, and I'm like, did you just not see that? You
It's
know?
just like cancer. A lot of people tell themselves, "Oh, that'll never happen to me," or if it happens to someone else, it doesn't affect them. They don't really think about it. But once it happens to them, all of a sudden it matters. It's a little
Yes.
more
Right.
serious.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
So Sherry says, one of my experiences, I heard a woman crying and it sounded real. I was hunting on a 500-acre private property. There you go. You know,
Yes.
it's common. It happens. You know,
Yeah.
it happens.
Yeah. Don't pursue the
I'm just
sound.
saying, bobcats scare the crap out of me. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I'd be super quiet. Next thing you know, you hear this screaming like a baby crying, and then next thing you know, there's a little bobcat. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, thanks for giving me a heart attack out here. But there's other times where I can't find the source. I mean, what about you, Miguel? Have you heard that like a lot when you're out in the woods?
The baby crying?
Yeah.
Can't say I have. I thought I've heard like mumbling or some type of gibberish out in the woods, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I'm definitely not going to pursue it if I hear it though. And you hear this also in Alaska with the Kushtaka. Like it
Yep.
makes like a baby crying
Yes.
sound.
Yeah.
A lot of missing people in Alaska too. So there's that.
Because they go looking for the baby.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's I mean, talking about Alaska, I mean, Portlock is on my list if I could ever do it, you know. If I could ever do it, I mean, that's the one place I'd want to go.
Yeah.
For
I don't know
sure.
why.
I
I
would
don't
love
know
to
why.
go there too, but you know, it's expensive and it's a pain in the rear to get there.
Well, it is. It is.
Mm.
I mean, that's half the fun, though. I mean, honestly, to see the view, the scenery, the whole shebang, and get there. I mean, I get it, but I mean, I weren't there something about that story where they were hearing like a whistling? Wasn't it a whistling that they were hearing? And then people started being.
I don't remember. I don't remember exactly. I'd have to read up more about it. It's
I
been.
think it was a whistle.
We'll have to do a
Yeah.
show about that one
Yeah,
again.
I think so. I think so. But I have to go revisit that because there are so many stories like Dutloff Pass and all of these other kind of stories. And after you start hearing a bunch of them, which we've heard, you kind of have to go back and refresh your memory again because some of the lines get blurred in between stories. And
Yeah.
and I am fascinated by them.
Mm-hmm.
I am absolutely fascinated because there's no straight answer to what happened, but you kind of know what happened.
Yeah. So Miguel, let me get your thoughts on this too, because you are out in the woods a lot. What are your thoughts on like elementals? People in chat are talking about like puckwudgies and things like that. Have you ever encountered anything out there like that you thought maybe this might be an elemental or part of the fae or?
Not that I know of, unless one of the experiences that I've had that I talked about on my channel before was an elemental. The closest thing that I could say, I don't know if it is, but me and my buddy, the Ozark Harry man, we were sitting in a Bigfoot structure area at nighttime, and I saw, what do they call it, a crawler or a rake through my thermal, and this thing like glowed like a flesh and blood creature, but it crawled like a spider, like a bald human man
that's
crawling
creepy.
like a spider.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that's like considered an elemental. I don't know much about them. I've heard people talk about them, but I don't know. What about like a ghost in your house? Like, is that an elemental. Can you guys tell me what an elemental is? Sorry.
So I think it's part of like the Fae, like trolls and fairies, and like Bigfoot Michigan Rob seen like a stick twig looking figure, and you know, that's what I believe they are. Pukwudgie, I even believe a Pukwudgie is, and I actually had a friend who had a Pukwudgie encounter, and it was in Kirksville, Missouri, and she was in a tree stand. It was 20 years ago. I went to high school with her, and she kept it clean, or kept her mouth shut about it, because her husband and ex-father-in-law laughed at her. And so when we reconnected, she told me, she said, I was in a deer stand, and she said, I seen this anteater porcupine looking things come out of a tree. And she said they were on all fours, and then they stood up and walked off on 2 feet.
Wow.
And
yeah.
It was, when we started looking into it, it was, I believe, a Pukwudgie that she saw. And honestly, she's lucky, because, the Pukwudgies, they're known to like lure people to their deaths,
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like the orbs, I've experienced a lot of orbs out in the woods. I feel like that's part of the Fae. And they said they would gift the Fae, and that kind of mirrors like people gifting Sasquatch. Sasquatch are known to be associated with the orbs. So I feel like it's all one and the same activity.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And that's why, I'm sorry, my dog's he wants his 5 minutes of fame here.
It's that time.
Yeah.
He's bigger than Krista.
He is. He is.
If he decided to take over, she'd be in trouble.
Yeah. Well, he keeps nudging my arm. He's wanting me to pet him, but it's not time for lovins right now. I'm doing the show, so I realize that. But
Right.
I just think that there's so much out there that we don't even know about. Like, my friend, she had no idea what she saw. She had no idea what those things were. And honestly, 20 years ago, I wouldn't have either.
Have you ever heard of the Kentucky Goblin?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Very
creepy.
briefly, but yes.
Mhm.
It doesn't sound believable, but once you start reading about the reports, it's wild how many people see it. It looks like Stitch off Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah.
Kind of weird. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of stories that you don't think that it sounds right. I mean, because Kentucky Goblin, come on, a goblin, really? And then when you start, getting into the reports and things, you're like, oh, okay,
Right.
and as Krista and I say, not everybody's wrong. There is some truth to all of it. I mean, what that truth is, we don't know, but it's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think there's a lot in our forest that we just don't know. And, I think there's a lot of misidentified creatures and out there too, so.
Yeah. That
Just
is
pray you don't run into Dog Man.
Yeah.
It's not the one I want to, I don't want to meet that one. I mean, I want to see it from a distance, like with a telescopic lens. That's about it.
Yeah.
I don't
I
want to see
wouldn't wish that upon anybody,
Right.
There's a big story that it's told on a lot of different channels. It's of 2 Bigfoot researchers that were out in the Ozarks. I can't remember where, but they were observing a juvenile, like it was interacting with them. And they said, one of the researchers came back and was like, I saw a werewolf-like creature. And the other researcher kind of rolled his eyes, but then he got his gun ready. Like, I don't know if he had a lever action or pump, but anyways, he got his gun ready and gave it to the other guy. He's like, I thought you didn't believe. He's like, yeah, but in case we see it. And they said, right as soon as they got the rifles ready, this juvenile came running out of the woods, and this dog man creature was chasing it. It's a creepy story, spooky story.
That's a very creepy story.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Sorry, my dog slobbered all over my leg.
Yeah.
And
You're like,
he just got done eating. Ugh. He just got done eating too. So it's like, ugh.
Right. Well, there is Sherry Radway says that you need to go to Canada.
I think that'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to go to British Columbia.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that would be a great place to go to. Because, I mean, you hear a lot of stories up there, but it sounds like, I don't know, maybe you can correct me, Miguel, but it sounds like the colder it is, the bigger Bigfoot becomes. Like it's like built different. Like it's bigger. It's wider. It's I mean, do you think that's true? Like in the warmer weather states and things that they may be a little bit smaller. I mean,
I would say yes and no. Yes, because animals that live like in mountain areas, they are built way bigger. They call them big game. They have bigger lungs and bigger muscles so they can run up and down those mountains. But what I seen one night when I was hitting this group of Sasquatch with the spotlight, one of the eyes went up to about 13 or 14 feet. So I know those things are around here too.
Wow.
Gosh,
That's a big one.
That's a big one.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they'd only get that big like in Alaska and Canada, but I know that they're around here. I don't know how they would hide. That doesn't logically make sense, but I know what I saw that night. It's like, okay,
well, I think
they're out there.
the environment I would play a big role in that too. I would assume. I mean, because if you're in a very dense populated forested area or even swamp or anything like that, I assume that you would be smaller so you can get in and out of places easier. Just from evolution, I mean, that would happen. Well, I mean, do you think that could be a possibility?
I think so. A lot of the reports that I've heard of the skunk ape, they're usually like smaller, and so are their deer.
Right.
But I've also heard people from Florida say they saw a Sasquatch and its head was as big as round as like a full-size pine tree.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy.
In one of my structure areas, I found, this place was loaded with structures, and this is pretty close to me, but I know there's a huge male in there. He would de-root full-size pine trees, and like he'd make like huge X structures, and it's crazy, like to think that something that big is roaming the forest in Missouri.
Wow. Yeah, that's scary. Scary thought.
Yeah, it is. Because I think that with our encounter, I mean, yeah, this thing was huge. There is no doubt about it. To me, I mean, this thing, it was just absolutely humongous. But if it would have been bigger than that, I think I would have hit the panic button at that point.
Yeah, I think for the most part, what people are running into and like the lower 48 is just juvenile and females. Like rarely do people run into the big males, and you'll know it when you see one.
Gotcha.
I don't know where they go. They come out at nighttime, the big males, but generally like during the day or around people's camp at nighttime, it's like the male, the juveniles and females.
Yeah.
Messing with people.
And that makes sense because the males, like they're the protector. So, you said they're out at night, and that maybe that's when the juveniles and the females, a lot of them sleep, and they're watching.
Yeah, I mean, because maybe they're the gatherers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the big males will hunt at nighttime, but who knows? Maybe the females and juveniles are just bored, so they're like, let's go mess with the campers. Until they get back with food.
Let's go see what's down the horse. Let's go pick up something, Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
What do you have coming up, Miguel?
Yeah, I appreciate it.
What all do you have coming up?
Oh, what do I have coming up? This weekend I'm going to Southeast Missouri to camp at a Bigfoot hotspot, and
cool.
A lot of my friends have had sightings and encounters and experiences there, and I've never been to that specific area, so I'm kind of excited to go.
Cool. Very cool. Very cool. And you'll be at Crossing Realms.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I'm going to the Bigfoot conference. I'm going to be a speaker there, and pretty nervous. I've never spoken in front of a big crowd, so
you'll do fantastic.
Maybe I'll pass out on stage.
No, you won't. We won't let you do that.
Right.
Yeah, plenty of friends going to be there.
Yeah, and you're going to be speaking Friday night, and it's going to be very laid back, and it's going to be awesome. You're going to do just fantastic.
Yep, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited to meet everyone there. It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be great. And I'll the pre-party on that Thursday night. I hope you can make that. That's where actually I had my first Bigfoot encounter.
Really.
And then another researcher leaving there saw a dog man about a half mile outside.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, I'll show you all that area too. So, yeah.
Which is
Okay.
beautiful.
Awesome.
And there's acres and acres and acres of land. Yeah, it's
3,000
really
acres
beautiful.
there.
Yeah.
Literally 3,000
Awesome.
acres. So
Yeah.
it'll be fun. It'll be fun. Hang on. Don't hang up yet. Backstage. We got to end the show. You guys tune over to Monica. She'll be on at 10 p.m. tonight, and catch her on Our Paranormal World. And catch us, Blondes and Booze, tomorrow evening at not same time, 7 p.m. Central.
Yes.
And so catch us over there. And thank you, Miguel, for coming on. We definitely appreciate you.
It's always a great time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is fun.
Thank you.
All right. Good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
Good night.
Good night.
This is the future. Evolution.
The Crossing Realms Conference launches September 19th and 20th and will dock in Richmond, Missouri. This is already being called the event of the year, folks. With an unprecedented list of speakers and special guests, 2 days of cryptids, UFOs, and paranormal presentations, along with a celebrity-filled ghost hunt, meet and greet, gallery reading, vendors, and a film screening. This promises to be both educational and fun. Go to eventbrite.com to secure your tickets and vendor slots before they are all abducted. They're going fast.